Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today. Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield and a Nintendo Direct that could be coming out of nowhere in April, as well as a Zeraora Pre Evolution rumor that is kind of spread around the internet. So some pretty interesting stuff today, and I'm really excited to jump right into it. Be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you guys are new, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this Zeraora for sure. But first, we're going to be here on Gaming Intel, which is a video game website, and they published an article that talks about the fact that there is going to be a new Nintendo Direct taking place in April 2019. A source which I have been in communication with for a while has told me that there's Direct planned for April. I can't quite go into detail, but the source has been correct on previous Direct announcements and dates. I'll be in touch nearer to the time to give you guys further details. Now, they mentioned that, you always gotta take leaks with some skepticism, and this is a rumor video slash, we're just discussing here. But anyway, they basically say that this source has been reliable in the past, and they claimed a few different things. That it claimed that it Direct in January for the indie games. They claimed the Smash Bros. Direct in November. They claimed a Direct on the September 6th, but then it was rescheduled, which they also correctly predict. So they cross-check their information. It's supposed to be about 30 to 40 minutes, and they talk about some of the stuff that's supposed to be covered. Super Mario Maker, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which, by the way, there was an interesting post where Legend of Zelda, an older game, I think Link to the Past on the Switch, was also kind of potentially rumored for a little while. So for those Nintendo fans out there, some pretty interesting stuff. And it's possible that we could get a Pokemon trailer as well featured in this Direct. While Pokemon generally does kind of feature things in their own Directs, like they kind of have them separately in Pokemon Directs, at this point, the game has already been announced, so it is possible that they throw a new trailer in a Nintendo Direct, which would be a big splash in the gaming community. Nevertheless, I'm excited to hear release dates for things like Animal Crossing and Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. A lot of cool stuff there, so definitely some interesting stuff. We'll keep our eyes and ears open. I do think we're going to get Pokemon information in April regardless, so definitely something to make note of. Now, let's jump into Zeraora, because this is actually pretty cool here. There is a pre-evolution of Zeraora kind of spreading around the internet, and I do want to give credit to RuffledRowlit. I'll have his link in the description below. He's another Pokemon YouTuber. He actually used to do a lot of graphics for me. If you guys know my St. Louis Rampardos intro, he actually made that for me like 5 years ago. So I've known, he used to go as Rig Pop. I've known him for a very long time, but he does rumors and leak videos as well, and he's really on top of things. So if you guys like the kind of stuff I do, be sure to check him out as well. But he covered this, and I kind of wanted to talk about it myself. Very interesting stuff here. And listen, as always, you got to take these with a grain of salt, because this could just be a really cool artist who just made some fan art and is pretending to make it come off as real. We don't know yet, but the idea of a Zeraora Pre Evolution is very cool to me, and it would be very neat. So first of all, Zeraora is a mythical Pokemon introduced in Sun and Moon. It was released through, I think, a movie distribution. It was featured in a movie, and it's the newest of the mythical Pokemon aside from Meltan. It's electric type with incredibly good speed, good attack and special attack stats. Pretty cool array move pool with a special move called Plasma Fist. Very neat Pokemon. So definitely a cool Pokemon that I would love to see get some more spotlight. And by introducing a pre-evolution for it, you can integrate it into Sword and Shield earlier game and have it evolve, kind of like, I'll mention it later, but Riolu and Lucario, two Pokemon that remind me very much so of this pre-evolution and Zeraora in general. They are mythicals, but they are kind of feature Pokemon. So anyway, looking at this art here, we see this kind of Zeraora pre-evolution, very interesting stuff. Couple different poses. He's kind of holding his tail in one. You kind of see some different eyes. You see him kind of looking up, and the design actually looks pretty interesting. So let's take a look at what Zeraora looks like, and you can see some very similar kind of nuances there with the blue on his head and on his whiskers, similar to Zeraora. When I look at this, my first thought is, man, this is pretty good. Now, obviously, we're gonna fact check the Japanese here in a second, as per Rig Pop's video, which he did, or I should RuffledRowlit. He changed his name a long time ago. But this is pretty interesting stuff here, and this is definitely one of the more kind of out there rumors and potential leaks that I've seen so far, because I feel like so many people are focusing so heavily on new Pokemon, the starter evolutions, and what's gonna happen with those, and then new concepts for new Pokemon in general and whatever else. But this is really interesting because no one's really focused on the previous Pokemon, and to give a pre-evolution to a mythical, while it's not something we've really seen before, we've seen mythicals now that can evolve, like Meltan evolving into Melmetal. We've also seen a unique instance of Manaphy where you can have a Manaphy egg that can turn into a Fion. So it's not like this stuff is completely out of the question. So I could definitely see an instance where early game in Sword and Shield or mid game, you can get an egg for a Zeraora Pre Evolution and then have that ultimately evolve into Zeraora, and that'd be a really cool way to integrate and tie in this really cool mythical Pokemon that really doesn't get a ton of spotlight outside of the movie, and really its distribution was kind of limited at the tail end of the life cycle of Ultra Sun and Moon. So very interesting kind of approach there. We look at some of the translations here. And again, I took this directly from RuffledRowlit's video. I do have permission from him. I messaged him about this, but he did the translations, or had the translations done. So these are the translations: Ray of Electricity, Fun Eyes, Angry Eyes, Sad Eyes, then there's Static Electricity, then there's Electrical Dive, and then there's Cat's Claw, and again, that nice little confidential sign that we've seen many times on pretty much every person who's posting these kind of rumors or fake art or whatever, but they were originally shown on that Decidueye, Primarina, and Incineroar leak. So whether they would continue that same trend, I don't know, but it seems obvious that people are going to kind of throw that into the mix there regardless. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff, man. When I look at this, my gut says I really see the potential here. I really see the potential of this being real. Just a unique kind of approach. It's very different because, again, so many people are focusing so heavily on these new Pokemon, the new evolutions, things like that. In this case, we're actually taking a look at something that's totally different, totally different, which is pretty cool, seeing a Zeraora Pre Evolution. So I ask you the question, what do you guys think? Is there going to be a Zeraora Pre Evolution? Do you think this is real? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I personally would love to see something like this where they bring in a new Pokemon that we've never really seen before, you know, and have it evolve into a mythical, because I think the mythical Pokemon deserve more spotlight. Like, I've ranted about this many times. I hate the fact that a lot of the times the mythical Pokemon gets shoved aside as a mystery gift or some stupid GameStop event that no one actually cares about. Those are super duper frustrating. So it's really cool to see the possibilities of what could happen with Sword and Shield in terms of a pre-evolution for Zeraora or something along those lines. Before we wrap up this video, I wanted to call attention to this here. This is actually really cool. So this is my friend Kyber Chris. You may know him because he actually created the intro on my YouTube channel, my outro. He actually did all the branding on my channel, the aDrive character art, everything. So Chris is an amazing aDrive Army member who's done a lot of awesome work for me. And on April Fool's, he released this little kind of animated image of what was a fake concept art, kind of inspired by the Bug Dragon fake. Very interesting stuff here. And the model was created by INinjaHero, who is my partner for my Pixelmon server, and is working on a project called Snap Beast, which is going to be a very interesting project integrated into Minecraft, which you guys will get some information about from me in the coming months and stuff like that. But I wanted to address this because I think it's pretty cool. Chris and I and Ninja teamed up to actually come up with this idea to create this as an April Fool's joke. However, we kind of abandoned the idea really when all was said and done, because I truthfully, like, I don't feel comfortable making an April Fool's video on something that I know to be fake. I just didn't feel right about that. So kind of, you know, if you guys remember the peanut dragonfly, that kind of spread around the internet, and our joke was that we were gonna, for April Fool's, kind of have this spread around the internet and try to pass it off as being legit. But you know what, we scrapped the idea. I told Chris, you know what, you did a great job, but let's not do this, because the last thing I want to do is purposefully, knowingly dissuade you guys or lose any credibility, because that's just not what I'm about. Like, even though it's April Fool's and everyone kind of just makes joking and fake posts and stuff like that, that's really not my cup of tea. Like, I'm not gonna cover something that I personally know is fake. I'm only gonna cover it if I think that there's a possibility that it could be true. And again, a lot of these rumors are just things like people just throwing stuff together, and you really don't know, but you never know what's gonna slip through the cracks. But I wanted to show this off because I did think it was really cool, and I think Chris did a great job. So be sure to check out his Twitter and check out INinjaHero in the description below. I'm gonna link both of them because I think they have some amazing stuff going on, and I just thought this was really cool. I had to show this off. Like I said, it was supposed to be part of my April Fool's joke and part of my April Fool's plans, but I scrapped it because, again, I just didn't feel comfortable making a video and trying to pretend like something was real when it wasn't. It just didn't sit with me. That's like not my thing, you know what I mean? So we had a lot of fun with it, and we just kind of came out and said, hey, you know what, there was the Bug Dragon fake for the April Fool's. We made this. It's 100% fake. We're just gonna tell everyone it's 100% fake. We're not gonna try to pretend like it's real. None of that. Like, that's not our thing, you know what I mean? It was meant to be an April Fool's prank, but we decided to change it up because, again, myself, Ninja, and Chris, we just have too much integrity and too much respect for you guys and for everything like that, that I just didn't feel right about that. But I did want to kind of show some special thanks to Chris for putting this together, because he did a great job. And honestly, this just shows, I mean, if you took this and threw it on a Nintendo Switch in a browser and kind of took like a, you know, kind of a blurry-ish kind of picture of it from a little bit farther away, I do feel like we could have passed this off as being a potential, like, real kind of, you know, rumor or whatever, kind of like the bug dragon, and that was really what our aim was. But again, I just didn't feel like that was right in terms of our approach. So anyway, that's that. I'm really interested to see what's going on with this Nintendo Direct over the next few weeks. Coral we should actually get in maybe a week, maybe 8 days, guys. We're like really getting close to that stuff. And then the Zeraora Pre Evolution is pretty darn cool if you ask me. So let me know your thoughts on all that stuff. Zeraora, I hope you guys survived April Fools. I managed to actually make it pretty safely without anything too crazy. April Fools wasn't too bad for me. Like there wasn't really that much this year that was like super insane. Like I feel like most people kind of toned back their April Fools jokes. And then you know, that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep our fingers crossed for some Pokemon Sword and Shield news. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.